tired of hearing about gun violence and people dying every day because of it. I'm sure many of you are aware of this current issue and what is happening in the country because of gun use. Growing up in the South Bronx, gun violence is common in the community, and I have lost many friends and family because of it. The United States should and must create a national law that bans people from having the right to purchase or even own a gun. I'll be discussing how America has high criminal records due to gun violence, how guns are one of the biggest profits in the United States, and lastly, how guns should only be for protection, safety, self-defense in which it should only be obtained by higher authority. I propose that guns are violent and the government should take action on behalf of the country. There are many people who lose their loved ones every day to gun violence. Why should it be another statistic? America has one of the highest criminal records due to gun violence. New York City has one of the highest criminal records among the big cities. Research has shown that in 1 year, on average, over 111,000 people in America are shot in murders, assaults, suicides, and suicide attempts, unintentional shootings, or by police intervention. Of those 111,000 people that are shot by guns, about 33,000 people die a year. One of my closest friends, Joseph Jimenez, was shot in the South Bronx about a month ago around 11 p.m. His innocent life was taken away. According to ABC News, Joseph Jimenez, 19, was shot a block away from his home in what police call a case of mistaken identity. Another case of gun violence is when my cousin, Vicky Matthew, was shot 3 times in the back by a police officer. This case was well documented by the news. The New York Times reported, according to the department's patrol guide, officers can use deadly physical force to stop a fleeing felon only under certain circumstances. One circumstance in which such an action is considered justified is when the officer has probable cause to believe that the suspect is armed with a deadly weapon. America has experienced many mass shootings in the past years because of the absence of gun control in the United States. The Columbine shooting is one of the most deadly shootings and acts of gun violence in America. 2 teenagers were easily able to carry guns and bring them in a high school in which they threatened many lives and left many innocent lives murdered. The Sandy Hook Elementary shooting was also one of the biggest shootings that occurred in America. 28 innocent lives were also lost. Why hasn't the situation of gun control been changed in America? America should change a general policy in which it restricts the right to bear arms. Guns are one of the biggest profits in the United States. It is very easy to obtain a gun in America. While searching through the internet where you can buy a gun, I came across a website called Gander Mountain, which was really easy to purchase a gun if you are 21 years or older, such as a regular Beretta 92 handgun. The website even offered coupons, and some guns were even on sale. It should not be easy to own a gun that is a threat to many lives. There is a higher number of jobs in the gun industry. There are more jobs related to the gun industry than there are news anchors in New York. According to CNBS, there were about 270,000 jobs related to guns in 2015. There are about 11 million pistols, revolvers, rifles, shotguns, and other firearms manufactured in the U.S. in 2013. Sure, a lot of firearms are used for the military and army, but only 4% of the 11 million arms get exported for military use. So why are so many guns getting distributed? Although employment is very high and there are many people employed, it should not be the cause of firearms. It should not be because of firearms. Finally, guns should only be for protection, safety, and self-defense, in which it should only be obtained by higher authority. Banning guns makes a community safer. People would feel safe if they know they were not threatened. 18 states have tried to reduce the unlawful use of guns as well as gun accidents by adopting laws to keep guns safely stored when they are not in use. Safe storage is a common form of gun regulation in nations with stricter gun regulations, according to CNN. According to the National Rifle Association, also known as the NRA, believes that there should be background checks for anyone who owns a gun or wants to purchase one. Anyone can own a gun if you are 21 or above and if you have the money for it. With all this said, the government should not allow the purchase of guns be available to the public because it causes harm and many negative outcomes. I explained and reviewed all the facts for the lack of gun control and why it is important that the government should be harsher on the law and the right to bear arms I discussed that America has high criminal records due to gun violence, that guns are one of the biggest problems in the U.S., and that guns should only be for protection, safety, and self-defense, in which it should only be obtained by the higher authority. The United States should ban guns to the public. With all the facts on this issue, it is impossible to ignore that there are many shootings due to gun violence, and the lack of gun control is a big dilemma in our country in which we should not avoid.